Welcome back. Lenskart founder Peyush Bansal is amongst the few new-gen founders and CEOs who have appeared in their own brand's commercials as themselves. In a short series of ad films, Bansal features along with Bollywood producer and fashion icon Karan Johar, who's also known to always spot interesting eyewear. Today, we are joined in by Bansal, who tells us more about this campaign's genesis and why he ended up featuring in it with Johar and why he doesn't consider himself a celebrity founder. Listen in.
Hello and welcome to Storyboard 18, Peyush. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
So I'm just going to sort of kick off with asking you about the campaign that just came out. It's doing pretty well. It's caught on. People are watching it, reacting to it. You featured in it. Let's talk a little bit about the genesis of the campaign to begin with. What was the brief to the agency and how did you sort of get started?
Yeah, great. I think, so the brief, firstly, I want to clarify that the brief to the agency wasn't to cast me in the ad, right? A lot of people may assume that would be the case, but I don't have any celebrity goals and nor am I a celebrity entrepreneur. It's been almost like a decade, to be honest. I have been wanting, I do feel that a lot of the things that we do at Lenskart are differentiated from what you get in the market outside. And so that is one of the problems that we deal with. And we wanted to figure out a way to communicate that. And similarly, there were other things that I always felt that we as a brand are not able to communicate because we are more affordable. So, usually when things are more affordable, consumers feel that they are not as good quality. But I wanted to figure out a way that, we really tell people that, because once I was sitting at a gathering of my friends and one of my friends had bought a pair of glasses from us and he mentioned a line that stuck with me, and this is a few years back, that, by the way, I bought glasses and I faced some problem after 2-3 months. And but what more can you expect at that price, right? And that kind of stuck to me, like, why don't you expect more at that price? I mean, this could happen to something that you bought for maybe a few $100s versus, $40-50. So yeah, I think so. The brief to the agency was two things. One is, what can we do to really communicate this point of that while we may be affordable, tell them why are we affordable, and the fact that, it is not cheap. There is a lot of aspiration in the brand.
But I know you said you don't have, aspirations to be a celebrity founder. But let's face it, you are a celebrity founder, right? So just generally, founders, CEOs are more accessible these days, right? And regardless of anything you might say, but Shark Tank has propelled the whole bunch of you to sort of national fame. So it entails a lot. And even if you don't perhaps consciously cultivate that image, has your view on personal branding evolved during this time?
I did Shark Tank season 1 purely for my love for Shark Tank, having watched all seasons multiple times and almost getting inspired to be an entrepreneur very early days of watching it. I'm doing season 2 because now it is almost like the entrepreneurs that have gotten inspired and the impact that it has made in India at a segment which was not happening before with just the pure VC investments. It's almost like become more of a responsibility than anything, to be honest, right? And, I became an entrepreneur because I got inspired by Bill Gates and I got inspired by a bunch of these people. And now there is this segment in India which is now turning to be entrepreneurs, especially the 5 to 15-year-old kids who are now talking about entrepreneurship. If you really go on the ground, it's completely changed. So it's like, okay, now how do you say no to this and kind of thing? And to be honest, I've learned more listening to the pitches and staying connected to the outer world and staying hungry and staying tuned to what the pace at which stuff is happening in India. So there is some personal incentive in terms of helping Lenskart grow and staying relevant. When I did this ad, it was literally to what works to allow Lenskart to go to the next level. Now, all of this put together, I would say I still don't have celebrity goals, but at the same time, I do feel that my number one goal is to take Lenskart to the next level. My number one goal is to make Lenskart, the Amazon of eyewear. My number one goal is to make Lenskart a global brand and to make it synonymous to eyewear in India. And in that process, some of this is new form of communication with the new age audience because traditional advertising, traditional communication is not relevant anymore. In today's environment, people relate to brands, they've become smarter. You just can't do something which you don't really believe in. You just can't communicate something which is not true. It's like I'm never gonna wear eyewear, but you made me a celebrity and talk about eyewear. In today's environment, that may not be as relevant. We're all privy to what's happening on social media and influencers. And so yeah, in that view, yes, there may be I haven't yet mastered this, but I do feel that knowing the context and the why of the brand helps consumers associate more than ever in today's environment. And I am able to deliver that why and the purpose to people probably at in today's time and the moment that we are better than some others. So that's how I think of it. But I think of it as a transient phase in the evolution of the brand.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's coming up next in terms of some of the key marketing activities that you're looking at? Where is the sort of next phase of growth going to come from? Can we get a little bit into that?
See, I think for Lenskart, particularly at the stage where we are, I think we don't really have a problem with reach, right? And we have quite a bit of that going for us. Touch one. What we really need to do in our advertising is really talk to communities of people and segments of people in a very personalized way, like so that they can relate to us. That's how I feel, right? In today's environment, I'm not really looking at advertising, which is really just one solution fits all. I'm looking at how can we talk to you the way you want us to talk to you so that you feel we understand you, which we want to. If we won't understand you, we'll never be able to talk to you that way. So the idea is to really get down uh, to the real micro communities of people, understand their behavior, develop eyewear for their needs, which will allow them. I do feel that internal and external brand cannot be different in today's environment, right? You can't be something outside and you can't be something inside. You can't communicate something and you are something else. It's pretty much very difficult. So for us, what's important is to really document what we are internally, what do we do internally, and let the world know in that much transparency. And if there are things that we want to be, the work starts first internally and then we can go communicate to people.
So given sort of the current climate and mood, what is your outlook going forward?
I think this is a phase, literally. And this is not the first time. Somehow, every time such a phase comes, people get really emotional about it. I think you need to look past through this phase and see what's ahead. And what's ahead is that, entrepreneurship is at its peak, consumption is at its peak, tech is at its peak, talent density is improving, per capita GDP is improving. And yes, markets has its sentiments and they may not always be rational. And sometimes, one company may affect many others. So I just feel these are great opportunities for businesses to get some time to really accelerate, bet on the bigger bets, take some time off and think about what could do, hire best talent in the market, right? It's like a honeymoon period for us right now because all the talent that we would keep calling and trying to get them to the table is today on the table. So yeah, you have to look past this. Um, if you're really building something for the long term, then this is just one of those cycles you have to live by. And this is not the first time. At least I've seen 2, 3 of these in the past, and I'm not bothered, and I care less, to be honest.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And